reminder on a few of the important dates coming up. As mentioned, 2 weeks from tonight, November 2nd, the first official CFP rankings from the selection committee. Every Tuesday night leading up to Sunday, December 5th, that's when the playoff will be set on New Year's Eve. Semifinals will be played in the Orange Bowl and the Cotton Bowl, and then the national championship game in Indianapolis on January 10th. So while we're awaiting the selection committee rankings in a couple of weeks, here's college football rankings presented by Chick-fil-A. The AP Top 10, Georgia is number 1, unanimous. Cincinnati, Luke Fickell will join us a little bit later on in this show with its highest ranking in program history. Oklahoma, Alabama, Ohio State, very familiar playoff teams make up the top 5. And then a lot of Big Ten showing in Oregon with the best win of the season, winning at Ohio State, but also losing against Stanford is still hanging on in the top 10. So that's the way the AP poll voters have them. Kirk, what's your top 6 look like?
Well, I think we'll all probably have the same 6. It's just maybe a little bit of a different order. I have Georgia up at number 1. I think like everybody at this point, they've separated themselves from everybody else. If memory serves me right, I have Oklahoma. My memory when I put these together on Sunday isn't the best. I have Oklahoma at 2. I moved Alabama up to 3. I kind of felt that they did what they needed to do, got their defense simplified and dominated Mississippi State, which was great. Cincinnati in the top 4, a group of 5 team for me. I just don't see them leaving the top 4 if they keep winning and looking the way they do against inferior opponents. And then I have Ohio State and Michigan at 5 and 6. Joey, with still everything in front of them. If you're an Ohio State fan, if you're a Michigan fan, I just feel that they don't need necessarily help. If they keep winning, I think that will take care of itself. But for now, I just have them just slightly on the outside looking in with all their big games ahead of them.
Yeah, I agree with you on Georgia, of course, which I think everybody would. And I think everything after Georgia right now, there will become a time when there's time to fight for somebody being ranked a little higher, but it's not right now. I think we all have those same teams and feel pretty good about the top 5 or 6 at this point. So I went Georgia, I went Cincinnati at number 2 with the way they look. If you remember, we came into the season saying if they could go on the road and beat Indiana, go on the road and beat Notre Dame, they would be in this conversation. They've done that, and the way they look, I feel good about them at number 2. At number 3, I moved Ohio State to number 3 for me. And the way C.J. Stroud has looked in the past 2 weeks, they had this bye week, they'll be back this week. But the 5 touchdowns each game with no interceptions, very impressive. The defense has looked better. They have tougher tests ahead of them. I got Alabama at number 4. And so we've seen Alabama, when they bring their A game, they could be the best team in the country on the defensive side, but we've seen a couple games where they haven't against Florida and then A&M where they haven't been great on defense. So they're number 4 for me. Oklahoma is an interesting question now with Caleb Williams at quarterback. They look completely different. I still don't trust their defense, so they're sitting at number 5. And number 6 for me, I have Penn State. And the biggest question about Penn State is what's the health of Sean Clifford? If Sean Clifford is healthy in the Iowa game when they're up 2 scores, I believe they win that game and remain undefeated. So if Sean Clifford is healthy, I feel good about Penn State at number 6.
That's a great point. I think people can talk about Oregon too. They didn't have their offensive coordinator in a close loss to Stanford. Maybe that's something that comes into play. Not much different, but if you guys would do this exercise with us at home, you'd enjoy yourself because you go to Georgia and then you start going down and you're like, you can poke holes in everybody. So I'm like Joey, I don't think there's a right answer. I got OU 2, Cincinnati 3, I got Bama 4, Ohio State 5, and then I got Michigan 6. I would be okay if it was Oklahoma State. I'd be okay if it was Michigan State. I'm okay with Joey putting Penn State there. And if Sean Clifford does come back, it'd be even more fuel to the fire down the road with some of those schedules.
And David, it sort of looks like this. They don't let you rank them when you do this exercise. They make you rank them in a column. You'd almost want to put Georgia on one line and then just have some rows below because everybody looks very similar. You guys have a little bit of disagreement. It's early. Galloway, like me, has Cincinnati at number 2. But, I mean, you can make cases for a lot of others. And I still think that eventually at the end of the season, you're going to argue if Oregon were to not lose another game, they'll have that head-to-head against Ohio State. It can't be the be-all, end-all, but it can't be nothing.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.